Hey YouTube, this is Teen Techie, and today I'm going to show you how to use Google Calendar, a start to finish tutorial. So before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted when I post new videos. To show the sidebar, you simply click on the three lines on the top left corner. In the sidebar, the first option is to create. So you simply click on it to add a new event. Then you can add the event title, and you can actually add the date of the event. Then you can add a start time and an ending time by scrolling through here and selecting the starting time. So the default is that the duration is 1 hour. Just make sure to stay tuned because I will show you how to change that. And with the ending time, when you select it, it will show you the duration as well as the time. Then if this event lasts more than 1 day, you can then change the ending date. You can also add guests to this event. So you can create an in Google Calendar guest list simply by adding in the email. And once you send out the email, the respondent will either have the option to accept the invitation or decline it, and you will get the notifications when they either accept or decline. So you have an updated guest list. And you can actually look at the guest availability and suggest a time. So something else you can do is you can add the location of the actual event by typing in the location that you'd like. Then you can add a description for the event. So if you'd like to inform the respondent a little bit more about this event, you can simply type it in. Then you can change the style of the actual text by clicking either on bold, italics, or underlined, like so. And you can insert a link or remove formatting. Then the last option is which calendar you'd like to add it to. So now that we've completed all of the information for event, we can move on to reminder. This reminder feature is essentially a reminder for the event. So you can select the time or the date. And for example, if you want it the day before, and then you can select a time. Then if this is a recurring event, you can click on does not repeat, and you can either have it daily, weekly, monthly, or annually. But if this is not a recurring event, you can click on does not repeat. Then you can have the option to select that is all day. Then the last sidebar, or the last option, is task. Within task, you can add different tasks that you need to complete before the event or within the event. And you can add it through here. And as you can see, you can select whichever topic you have, similar to the calendar options. After you've finished scheduling and adding all of the information needed, you simply press save on the bottom right corner. After you've created it, it should appear. Some other things you can do is actually change the view of this sidebar calendar by clicking on the arrows to either, for the left, direct you to the previous month, or to the right, direct you to the next month, like so. You can also search for different people, and you can also check and uncheck the different calendar event topics. So if you'd only like to see the holidays in the United States, you simply unclick all of these other events. As you can see, I have been redirected to June 2020. So if I'd like to go back to the month that we're currently in, which is May, then you select the today option. And it always redirects you back to the pertinent month. Another option we have in this main menu bar here is to search. So similar to Google Drive, you can either search for events, a certain day, or specific people. To the right of the magnifying glass icon, you can select the question mark icon. This is the support options where you can either get help if you have a specific question about Google Calendar. But again, I would encourage you to comment down in the comment section below if you have any questions about Google Calendar, or if you have a suggestion for future content so that I can answer all of your questions. You can have training, or you can get updated on all of the new updates and changes and new features that they add. Something else that you can do is when you click, then it automatically adds the event. And to change the preferences, you simply click on the gear icon and select settings. Within settings, you can do several different things. With regards to general, you can change the language, the country, the date, format, or the time format if you like a military time. You can then have it display a secondary time zone for whatever reason that may be, or you can unselect that. You can also show a world time by adding the time zone. And you, as I mentioned before, you can actually change the default duration. So for now, it's 1 hour, 60 minutes, but you can change to 120 minutes if you know your meetings are a little bit on the longer side. And then there's just this feature that allows you to anticipate earlier meetings. Read the description here. And you can edit the event settings here with regards to the default guest permissions. So this simply allows you to check and uncheck the features that you'd like to see. Some other things is you can automatically add invitations when you type in that person in the guest box. And you can get notifications or alerts when someone accepts or declines, or something similar to that happens. You can also have view options, so you can either show weekends or unselect this so that you do not show weekends for whatever the use case may be. You can also show declined events, week numbers. You can reduce the brightness of past events so that you're able to distinguish from present events or future events. You can also view calendars side by side in day view. You can then change the day that you'd like to start the week on, and you can set a custom view. You can also have events from email. So when you get an event from Gmail, you can have it automatically sync up with your Google Calendar so that whenever you get that event and you accept it, then it automatically adds to Google Calendar. There are also different keyboard shortcuts, and I recommend just having that enable keyboard shortcuts checked. After general, you have adding calendar options. With that, you can create new calendars, browse calendars of interest. So the cool thing about this is these do not all have to be personal calendars. These can be based on sports or holidays. And you can also do this based on a URL. Something else you can do is import or export a calendar. So if you are transitioning from Microsoft Outlook to Google Calendars or from Apple Calendars to Google Calendars, you can simply import this from your computer and add it to the calendar that you select. So that is settings, and you can also change the view of the calendar. So if you don't want it to be by month, you can have it by a week, which allows a more zoomed in view, or it can be by year. And you can just change the view. And you can also do this with keyboard shortcuts. So as you can see in the grid lettering, to add it by day, you can press D, W, M, Y. And as you can see, it's the first letter of the word, hence W for week, M for month. So just testing out those shortcuts by day, week, or month. My preferred view is normally month. Please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed the content, subscribe to my channel, comment down in the comment section below any ideas for future content or any inquiries you have about any applications that I have covered, or a suggestion for a totally new application that you would like me to cover in depth. Thanks for checking out my video, and I'll see you next time.